ever there was a wonderland on earth, the mythical Shangri-La, this would be it. A valley tucked away in remote corners of North Sikkim. An area reserved just for the original inhabitants of the state. That's Lepcha community for you. They live in relative isolation, surrounded by lush green forests, deep valleys, sparkling waterfalls and rivers.
Dzongu, the eco-destination. There is so much natural beauty here. And there is something pristine about it, as if the area is almost untouched, undiscovered by the outside world. The Lepchas are considered the original inhabitants of Sikkim, and Dzongu is the region from where they trace their ancestry. The area closest to Mount Kanchenjunga, which in Sikkim is Khochenzinga, or the abode of their deity Dzongu. It is designated as their guardian, their deity by Mother Creation. It blesses them with her bounty, provides food for them in the jungles around it, gives them water from its numerous streams and waterfalls. It guides them when to sow and when to reap their harvest. Dzongu was declared a Lepcha protected area back in 1956 by the then Maharaja of Sikkim. It has helped preserve its environment as well as its population, which had been dwindling over the years. The area to the left of this Tista River is Lepcha territory. It opened up to tourists in the 90s. That is when civil society got together with government agencies to introduce ecotourism. This meant restricting conventional tourism activity and keeping the area clean by restricting the use of plastics. They encouraged people to open up their homes for tourists. The idea of big resort-style hotels was rejected to help save and protect the local culture as well as the environment. This movement was led by the youth of the community.
It has to change the people's perspective, I think, especially in this conservation of culture or say it, environment related things. They themselves, I think, started to study and they themselves started to research what we eat in traditional food, what our cuisine, something like that. So that has automatically came. The people who have started homestay, they, because of that guest, they have to reread all those stuff that was there in their family histories.
So thus was born the idea of homestays, around which evolved low-traffic tourism of a different kind.
What is truly the concept of a homestay? In order to understand that, you have to look at the model developed here in Dzongu. You check in, you live the way the Lepcha community lives, you eat their traditional meals, and if you want to, you participate in their day-to-day activity. That's how you truly experience a homestay.
Life in a homestay is a unique experience. Catch the unhindered view of the mountains as clouds pass by, whispering to your soul that you have come to the right place. It is a moment in life in which you want to stay still. Homestays are run by families like this one at Lingtham. A traditional house with a few extra rooms is all that they need. They look after the upkeep of the rooms, which are simple but comfortable. All basic needs for a good night's rest are provided. Washrooms are usually outside the main house as per Lepcha custom. They work hard to look after their guests who have a lot to say.
Sikkim, wonderful, wonderful people, wonderful state, wonderful welcoming people, great food. great fauna, great environment, fresh air. I can only say positive things about Sikkim, so yeah, I would highly recommend people to come to Sikkim.
I like how the houses are very open over here. And you have a lot of open area. I think also just to dry the clothes because it's raining all the time. Everyone looks really happy. I think that is something you notice, yeah. And the peace, right? The quiet. Like you can hear only some water right now and some birds. So it's a really nice soundtrack.
The idea of a homestay is to recharge and rejuvenate. But there is plenty on offer in Dzongu for the curious traveler as well. We are at Lingthem, and about an hour's drive from here is Lingdam. A short climb on a mountainside brings us to the hot sulphur springs. The water comes from deep inside the hill, and the bathhouse has been constructed near the source. Sikkim has many such hot sulphur springs, which are said to have medicinal properties. Any journey in Dzongu is spectacular. Especially going along the Rongyu River. It winds its way down from Mount Kanchenjunga, dividing Dzongu into upper and lower parts. On the way is this bridge, which connects the two paths. Further down, one comes across the breathtaking view of the river, joining with the mighty Tista, which is one of the major rivers of Sikkim. The Tista then flows on, forming a natural boundary between Dzongu and rest of North Sikkim. Both Upper and Lower Dzongu are dotted with small fairy tale villages. The region is quite vast and mostly uninhabited. Barring about 5 to 6 villages, where locals run homestays, the others are little known to the outside world. You can reach some of them by crossing the foot suspension bridge at Mantam. Taxis are available from the other side. After a 30-minute drive, you will reach Tingwong, a picture-perfect village where you can spend a few days. For sightseeing, one can go to the nearby Rookshot waterfall. One of the most spectacular falls in Dzongu. These remote areas offer fascinating trekking and camping opportunities. A 20-minute trek will take you to the splendid Tingwong Monastery. If you are up for some adventure, an hour's drive through dense forest will take you to Bay Village. And from here begins a trek into remote territory. The trek is short, about 2 hours. But walking through pristine forest will be a lifetime experience. At the end of the trail is Pentong village. Nestled in a beautiful valley and isolated from the outside world, life moves at a leisurely pace here amidst so much natural splendor. A majestic statue of Guru Padmasambhava overlooks the village.
म चाहिँ नर्थ सिक्किमको अप्पर जङ्गुको लास्ट भिलेजमा बस्छु। यो पेन्तोङ चाहिँ एकदमै राम्रो छ हैन ल। अन्त यहाँनिर चाहिँ बाहिरको टुरिस्टहरू प्राय टुरिस्टहरू बहुत आउनुहुन्छ। अन्त यहाँनिर जति पनि टुरिस्टहरू आउनुहुन्छ उहाँहरु एकदमै मन परेर जान्छ यो जग्गालाई।
For a much longer trek, one can go to the spectacular Kishong Lake, situated at an altitude of 14,800 feet. Dzongu abounds in rich flora and is a paradise for butterfly and bird watchers. This stretch in Lower Dzongu is also popular for such jungle walks. Here you will also come across a replica of a traditional lepcha house at Namprikdang. And inside are displayed different artifacts and household items used by the lepchas. Some of these are quite old and were owned by residents of Dzongu, who have donated them to this unique museum to highlight their culture. Among the many legends related to lepchas is that of the Yeti. The legend of the Yeti is a fascinating one, believed to roam high up in the area around Mount Kanchenjunga. For the lepchas, the Yeti is the manifestation of the spirit of the Kanchenjunga, their protector. There are many fascinating stories about Yeti and other topics which one can hear in Dzongu. The lepchas believe that a life is well lived if a person performs noble deeds, performing his duties to safeguard nature. The mountains, forests, lakes, rivers, and animals are our protectors, and we must safeguard them.
Gunlin atim liangdok ungdok saluka kayuna su ton chongum an aresa barbar kanganbo emayal chung liang rem kayuna su ton cho usa lip lip ka abisa ungde chubi lo blukung sugor sungna thamchang thambik pong rem kayunang ka lumpat darfat are mat long latbu kayu matun chi rong kap song re langzi long nong sa akap ngon sa liang ka kayunan Gunlin team sure kongsin churim do chakdam plonga to na kayo abisa liang do ungdok ne do ungdo unglap rem kayo na sơ thon nong lat bude kayo nangzi la nong sa akup ngon sa liang ka kayo sơ thon bambugam.
The folklore and beliefs about Kanchenjunga and nature run deep in the lepcha psyche. They pervade every aspect of their life. They pray to Kanchenjunga at the start of their day. Here, a bong thing or priest is performing the morning rituals. He offers water to the gods and asks for blessings for a new day and protection for the times to come. Similar prayers are performed before sowing and harvesting of crops and during change of season to seek protection from the vagaries of nature. Nature for them has a spiritual manifestation.
Lepchas believe that nature is the abode of devas and deities and that it should be worshipped and respected, like this tree over here. It is considered sacred by the community for hundreds of years. What makes Dzongu Valley so interesting is not just the serene beauty, but also because it's seeped into these mysteries and legends.
The Lepcha customs and traditions have survived hundreds, if not thousands of years. They have retained their main custom of worshipping the Kanchenjunga deity before they begin their rituals during ceremonies. It was a memorable experience for us to attend a pre-wedding ceremony. A cultural kaleidoscope of the Lepcha community. The enthusiasm of the youth in following tradition is in full display here. Everyone from the village is in attendance. Outside of nature worship, the Lepchas continue with Buddhist practices in monasteries. Here in Lingtham is the Chopel Dargeling Monastery, established in 1857 as a branch of the Pema Yanche Monastery in West Sikkim.
This monastery is the focal point in the lives of the people of Lingtham, where they congregate to worship and offer prayers. This is also the place where the British anthropologist Geoffrey Gorer lived for a few months in 1938 to observe the community and later penned a remarkable book, Himalayan Village.
Goer's book is still considered a landmark work of the Lepcha community. And he chose this monastery for his research, as the people gather here even from the remote villages. Ceremonies begin with the monks sending a musical message to their deities that they are going to start their rituals and seek their blessings. Special prayers take place during Amavas or no moon day and Purnima or full moon day, which are significant according to the Buddhist calendar. Here they perform the rituals under the watchful eyes of the legendary Lepcha king Thekung Mungsalong, who lived in the 17th century. He was a fierce warrior who united different tribes and is today a symbol of the Lepcha cultural identity. There is also a separate gumpa for female devotees here. With time, monasteries have come to dominate Dzongu's landscape. There are several other important monasteries, like the one near the village of Phasingdang. It is one of the first major stops inside Dzongu. But one of the most significant monasteries of Sikkim is situated in a remote corner of Dzongu. It takes a day's trek to reach, passing through verdant forests. For adventure seekers, there are also waterfalls and rivers to cross. This is the Tholung Monastery, a place where the divine resides and purity prevails. It became an important part of Sikkim's history because of its remote location. It houses relics of Chogyal Chador Namgyal and one of the holy lambas, Chachen Chempo. Ancient texts and other precious collections are also kept safely here. This prized material is taken out every 3 years for airing and sunning in order to prevent any damage from the high moisture and cold atmosphere in the region. Devotees come from far and wide to witness this display. They feel they have been blessed in the process. Dzongu is steeped in tradition in all areas of life. Farming has always been a manifestation of the environment. It is guided by nature spirits or devas, who send messages to the lepchas. For example, the call of a particular bird heralds the sowing season. The rise of stream water confirms that. Animals, insects, and the weather phenomena whisper messages at each step. The older members of the community decipher these messages. They grow their crops without the use of chemical fertilizers. Instead, they follow the natural methods of using cow dung as fertilizer and cow urine as pesticide. The fresh air and abundance of water ensures healthy produce. Crops are thus completely organic. One can see splendid cardamom plantations on the hillsides, rice stalks swaying gently in the wind, and wholesome vegetable gardens. Most households grow vegetables for their daily consumption in their backyards. The lepchas were essentially food gatherers or practiced shifting agriculture, till settled agriculture was introduced in Sikkim. In fact, food is collected from the forest even today. Here, Pema lepcha is foraging for edible fern called nettle. He plucks the tender shoots gently to show reverence so as not to displease nature devas. Nettle or negro, as it is known here, is an essential part of the cuisine and forms part of the daily menu in homestays. Being a foodie, I am keen to learn more about how their organic and fresh food is cooked in a lepcha kitchen. And that, Yangtze lepcha, my host, is going to show me. She also let me borrow a traditional dress for an authentic experience. My meal looks delicious. I cannot wait to dig in. Having a delicious meal which is sourced fresh from the farm or the forest is an experience which you will always cherish. Domestic animals provide dairy products and meat for the people's own consumption and are also bought by homestay owners. In these far-flung areas where sources of income are limited, farming and livestock are the primary means of livelihood. In recent time, fish farming has been introduced to provide an additional source of income. This village is part of a cluster where carp fishes are bred. The activity is also an attraction for tourists. The lepcha life is well integrated with its natural resources. The bamboo plant, which grows wild, has come to occupy an important part in their culture. Today, it is even grown in plantations. Out of 9 to 10 varieties of the plant found here, 6 are edible. Houses were traditionally made with bamboo. Besides, it is used in fencing of fields and is also used to make household items like utensils and furniture. Bamboo is also used to craft delicate accessories like ceremonial hats. Jordan Lepcha is a master craftsman who has won many awards. It is a delicate and long process. There are 3 basic types of hats, and each have their own significance. The Sumak Thetuk is worn by leaders of the community.
Are just komor are kuisa kam timbu minister orizang kam timbu liang ganbu orizang na are chambu are tuksyo अरूको लागि चाहिँ फेरि अरे असर लोकल चम्बुनी उरे तुक्स्यो पाब्री लिन वन बेक काटनी समम लिन लोकल नरो उरे जांगबो युज माछु
Artisans like Jordan are trying to resurrect a dying art. The challenge for them is economic, to be able to sustain their families while following their passion. As they are primarily catering to tourists, the community has started organizing events like these to attract visitors and promote local products. The Harvest Festival symbolizes the symbiotic relationship that exists between homestays and those who do farming. Homestays buy the produce of the farmers, and that is the crux of the concept of ecotourism. That it benefits even those who are not directly involved in the business.
Ecotourism is a novel concept that can work in two ways. It not only benefits the Lepcha community by providing means of livelihood, but it also restricts large-scale tourism that can potentially harm the environment.
When we are visiting such a beautiful place, we should always remember we should add to the beauty and not take away from it.